I have so many opinions on the most recent episode of Love Island. Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Stella. I'm a licensed psychotherapist that studies trauma, attachment, and relationships, and I talk about all things dating and relationship. Let me preface by saying that anything that I say cannot be used as a formal diagnosis. I do not know these people. I will never know these people, and I've never known these people. Therefore, what I say cannot be used as fact. It is not definitive. It is just my opinion. We are only getting a snippet of these people's lives, so let's not act like we know them inside and out, shall we? That being said, let's get into the video. I intentionally tried to avoid making too much content on the first couple of episodes because I really did not see enough to talk about. But this recent episode, there's a lot. I might have some controversial takes. I might have some opinions people don't agree with, and that is okay. But I wanted to just share my perspective on some of the contestants. Let's start with the obvious. Mel. We know that Mel is not the most emotionally stable person. And like I said, people in this state of mind should not be on the show, but yes, they give good TV, so I guess we're here. I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm just going to think of the first thing that comes to mind, but let's start with that whole confrontation with Mel and Bea. I've seen some people talk online comparing Mel's reaction to Kenzie's reaction. Did Kenzie handle it better? Absolutely. Was she more mature in that situation? Absolutely. But one of the things that I heard, or at least read in the comments, is that Bea used the exact same approach when confronting Kenzie and when confronting Mel. And so they expected them to have a similar response. But the thing about human behavior is that a small factor, a small change in the environment can alter everything. I also can say that Mel is a lot more reactive than Kenzie. So at baseline, maybe she would have reacted the same, even if every part of the situation was the same. But the key difference between how Bea approached the situation with Kenzie versus Mel is that with Kenzie, she pulled her for a chat. It was a one-on-one, one-to-one, even conversation. Whereas with Mel, it was not necessarily a one-to-one conversation at all. It felt like it was like a 3 or 4-to-1 situation. I know people are saying that the other girls didn't chime in, but in some ways they did. And also, not everything is caught on camera. Let's remember that. But with Mel, she confronted her in front of everybody. And anyone in that situation, anytime there's a confrontation instead of a discussion, that person is far more likely to be defensive. But like I said, Mel in general is a defensive person, but I think the issue could have been mitigated if she just pulled Mel to a chat and had that conversation with her. And I know most of you are thinking, well, all the other girls felt the same way. Having like a 2-on-1, a 3-on-1, a 4-on-1, those rarely go well. Honestly, even with the most calm, regulated person. So no, I don't think how she handled it with Kenzie was necessarily the same as how she handled it with Mel. That being said, Mel did too much. I think she's been doing too much. We've seen this. And I do agree that how she handled the situation with the bombshell, not the biggest fan of that. How she's carried herself in the villa has caused her to burn so many bridges, to the point that it's not just the US that is not a fan of her, but she's going to Kata, the person whose name she can't even figure out or pretends she doesn't even know, the person she had beef with for the longest time. She's going to Kata for support. Mind you, Kata is talking to her man. That's how many bridges she has been burning. She's burning bridges with her partner, right? Her match. She's burning bridges with all of her friends. She's burning bridges with the viewers. She's burning bridges with her so-called enemies, aka Kata. She's burning bridges with everyone. And at that point, I know Anaya came in and wanted to talk to her, but like, again, her behavior is concerning. There's not much to say about that. I will stand 10 toes down on my boy Sean. Am I a fan of a parent being on the show for several reasons? No. But I think he is one of the kindest, most mature, if not the kindest and most mature person on that show, and I will stand on that. I do not like how Bea treated him. I do not like how she has yet to be honest with him. She had the opportunity at the terrace to be honest with him, saying, you know what? Yeah, I stood on the red because I'm not feeling you because you have a kid. But she was not. She told him she wanted to keep the conversation going. She wanted to keep the connection going. So when people are saying that Bea is this upfront, honest baddie, no, she's not. No, she's not. I don't know. I have my opinions on her. I think she's very charismatic. I think she's a badass. I think she's inspiring. I think at times she could be very kind. I just don't think she's the most forthcoming, and I just don't like how she handled that situation. I know that's not this recent episode, but I just had to put my 2 cents there. Kenzie is also doing too much. She's doing too much. People are not talking about that enough. They're so focused on Mel, they're not talking about the fact that Kenzie still won't talk to Zach, and she's still throwing him shade to the point that even Sean, the person that was kind of interested in her, is getting turned off by it. And this is the thing, I've seen people like this, right? When they are used to being picked, or it's not even just used to being picked, when you rely on external validation for your own self-worth, that rejection will stay with you for a long time, even if the relationship was surface level. Let me say that again. The rejection will stay with you for a long time, even if the relationship was surface level, because it wasn't about the quality of the relationship. It wasn't even about the quality of the man. They might have nothing in common. It's about the fact that it hurt her ego, and it was about the fact that she got rejected, and it may have validated that internal voice in her mind telling her that she's not good enough. Because for something to hit her that hard, it's not simply just about ego. It's not simply about, oh, I'm blonde and blue-eyed, everyone should love me. I think it's much deeper than that. Because for it to still be bothering her, still, you have to look a little bit deeper. And the fact that she wouldn't talk to him, she wouldn't even have a conversation with him, and she threw shade during that challenge. Again, she's doing too much. And my thing is, if she's reacting this intensely to someone she didn't even have a strong connection with, and it happened night one, how is she gonna act when it's someone she is into, someone who's into her, a connection that actually has depth and value and is going somewhere, and that person disappoints her? What is she gonna do? What is she gonna do? Because there is a reality where she could be worse than Mel. Truly. I don't know. And no one's really talking about that enough. I like her. I mean, I think Kenzie is good TV. I think she's a ball of sunshine. I like her in every other aspect, but this, people are not talking about it enough. An unpopular opinion, but Bryce and Trinity are growing on me. I'm not gonna lie. I still want her to be with Zach. I feel like it could possibly get there. Maybe, who knows? But I don't know. They're growing on me. And this is another unpopular opinion. Again, like I said, this is just my opinion, but the guys are growing on me more than the women. I'm sorry. I have an issue with a lot of the women. The only women that I feel like I really like is Anaya and Trinity, truly. But I really like Zach. Again, unpopular opinion, but I really like Zach. I really like Sean, and I really like Bryce. Those are my clients as of this moment. I'm rooting for them through and through. Never thought I would say that. I never thought I would be rooting for the boys more than I'd be rooting for the girls this season, which is mind-boggling. But Bryce seems to be such a sweetheart. We might be wrong, I might be wrong, but I don't know. I like Bryce.